We knew that Donald Trump was going to try to pull some stunts before this massive press conference taking place in the morning at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time, 7:30 Pacific. You can watch the stream here on the MeidasTouch network where the Epstein victims will be speaking out. It's been reported that it may even be up to 100 Epstein victims and Ghislaine victims who are at least on Capitol Hill, and that we'll be hearing from some victims who have never even spoken before. This press conference is being led by Democratic Congressman Ro Khanna, Republican Congressman Thomas Massie. It's being done on a bipartisan basis. Khanna and Massie have been steadfast through it all with all the shenanigans that Trump is trying to pull. So we knew they were going to try to pull something. So about an hour ago, we got this message posted by Anna Paulina Luna, who claimed to chair a committee focused on this stuff. And here's what she wrote. GOP oversight and James Comer will be releasing the Epstein files to a publicly available website momentarily. They're all being uploaded right now. They all are. I don't think the vote to release the Epstein files will even come to the floor, being that they've all been made public. Wow, they're turning over all the Epstein files. Whoa. And then Anna Paulina Luna writes, all Epstein documents have been uploaded here, all of them. So I clicked the link and it wasn't even working at first. But then I'm like, are these the same 33,000 documents that they turned over 2 weeks ago, which were 97 to 98% duplicates of documents that had already been turned over and are not what we're all talking about when we see the Epstein files? Could they be so brazen? Do they think we're so stupid? So I reached out to my sources in the House Oversight Committee, and they confirmed that the documents posted by Anna Paulina Luna and James Comer are the same exact 33 pages of Epstein documents they received, 97% already public and part of a broader plan to block transparency. Our editor-in-chief, Ron Filipkowski, writes, they adjourned for a month to avoid taking a vote on releasing the Epstein files, and this is the best scam they could come up with to fool the people. Who hatched this genius plan? James Comer? All right, back to what the press conference is about tomorrow morning. Epstein victims, Ghislaine victims, survivors, they will be there. They will be telling their story. At the same time, there is a discharge petition working its way through the House of Representatives, since we know MAGA Mike Johnson seems to be doing everything in his power to stall, delay, obstruct an actual vote on this thing. So Thomas Massie has filed his discharge petition, and Massie, Republican from Kentucky, says there's a pressure campaign from the White House right now on 11 Republicans who co-sponsored his Epstein bill not to sign the discharge petition. I think there are also ones the White House is not whipping that they may be inclined to sign it. In other words, a complete cover-up continues by the White House right now on the eve of the Epstein victims speaking out. Let's bring in Democratic Congressman Ro Khanna, who's been someone leading the way on this, demanding transparency. You've been talking about this for a very long time. Where are we at, Congressman, and what can we expect tomorrow?
It's going to be a bombshell press conference tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. It's the first time after over a decade that the American people are going to hear from the survivors of the Epstein abuse. And they're going to talk not just about Epstein's abuse and Maxwell's abuse, but about rich and powerful men who abused young girls. Here's the reality. This is about restoring trust in government. This is about protecting America's kids. This is about standing with survivors. Now, I want to break some news. Not only is Thomas Massie going to be there, Marjorie Taylor Greene is going to be there. So this is not partisan. This is patriotic. And for the first time since Donald Trump walked down the escalator, we are going to have progressives, moderates, independents, and MAGA supporters on the same side, demanding truth and justice. And this is really a wake-up call for the Trump White House.
I understand that there are survivors who are on Capitol Hill today, and they've been sharing their stories behind closed doors with members of Congress. we saw Nancy Mace leave the room, and she was crying. And she said, as a survivor of sexual assault, she said that it was very hard to hear the stories that she was hearing. But she then also posted that the files are being released, the 33,000 pages, but we all know that those 33,000 pages aren't the Epstein files as we think about them, the real stuff that's out there. What can you share? Obviously, there's some of this that's going to be revealed tomorrow for the first time, but what can you share about you've been speaking with a lot of these survivors. What can you share in terms of what else we can expect tomorrow morning?
So I and Thomas Massie have actually not spoken to the survivors on purpose. We've only spoken to their lawyers. And the reason is we want the survivors to speak their stories. We don't want anyone to say, oh, did Massie or Khanna say what they should speak tomorrow? They are going to tell their stories. They have not talked to anyone on either of our staffs. And the American people are going to get to decide. But what we have been told by their lawyers is that they are going to say that they need the files released for closure. And they're going to be talking about many rich and powerful men who abused young girls who have not been brought to justice. Now, the reality is, and you pointed this out, and Ron pointed this out, the quote unquote distraction today was re-releasing the files that already had been released that are less than 1% of the Epstein files. How do we know it's less than 1%? Because the FBI told us that there are 300 gigabytes of files and 33,000 pages is less than 1%. It's less than 1 gigabyte. And of that, 97% are already public. Now, you say, well, why are they doing this? Because the Trump administration is usually used to pulling the wool over people's eyes and people just move on. And Trump's word has basically been gospel for his base. Why is it not going to work this time? First, people are paying too much attention, too closely. And when the American people tune in on something, you can't fool the American people. And secondly, we have people like Lauren Boebert and Marjorie Taylor Greene and other MAGA supporters. You can't impeach their MAGA credentials who are speaking out. So that's why this is a crisis for the Trump White House.
So in that, I want to be clear in my language, because I was just reading a post from Nancy Mace where she had said, I had a very difficult time listening to their stories. And then she says, full blown panic attack, sweating, hyperventilating, shaking. I can't breathe. What was shared was what the lawyers were saying, maybe what's happening. I just want to get the right facts.
There's two different things. There's some of the survivors who met with the oversight committee and they requested a private meeting to share some of their stories. Some of those overlap with the ones who want to be public tomorrow. Others don't overlap with the ones who are going to be public tomorrow. Tomorrow, between 8 to 10 of the victims and survivors are going to talk about their experience and what they want to see as an action tomorrow. Massie and I decided not to meet with them because we didn't want to in any way be seen as saying, okay, here's what we want you to say tomorrow, or here's how we want to influence it. We wanted to keep an arm's length so that their stories are going to be unfiltered and what they really want to tell the American public.
So let's talk about, though, the actual files that are still not being produced. Is the plan by Trump and others to say, this is it? This 33,000 is a large number, so here you go. This is everything. I mean, is the plan as stupid as that? Like, what happens next with the files?
Well, I think they're going to keep doing these kind of drip by drip and hope that this thing goes away. Tomorrow is going to make that impossible after people hear from some of these victims. But the other issue is that the American people are following this with such interest. I mean, when Pam Bondi did that initial release, within hours, people in the MAGA base said these documents are already public. And they are just shocked because usually Trump says something and it just goes away. Oh, I'm going to bring peace to Ukraine on day one. Well, he didn't. Well, okay, that was a promise and I've broken it and I don't care. I'm not going to cut Medicaid. Well, he just did. We're just going to move on. And so you can't blame the White House after 10 years of this kind of pattern for thinking, well, they're just going to move on. And you know that they haven't been successful. And the reason they haven't been successful, this kind of goes to the rationale of the Trump candidacy. People didn't think he was a moral character who voted for him. They didn't think he was going to necessarily have the plans to fully better their lives, but they wanted him to destroy the corrupt government. They wanted him to expose the corrupt government. They said, even if he's not the perfect guy, even if he has an imperfect character, we know that he's going to finally expose a government that is corrupt, that is co-opted, that is protecting rich and powerful men who have abused young girls. He's going to blow a whistle and expose it all. And his backing away from that fundamental promise to MAGA is undermining his trust with the base. And here's where the Democrats can come in. Here's where we can lead, where we can say we are on the side of the people. We're on the side of the truth. We don't care if 80% of the people in those files are Democrats. It doesn't matter, whoever they are. If they're on our side, on their side, we want the truth. We want it released. And that is a party of reform. It's a party that's not just partisan. It's a party that's not just anti-Trump. It's a party that is for the people.
This will be live 10:30 Eastern time, 7:30 Pacific. Everybody can watch it on the MeidasTouch stream. Anything else before we go, Congressman, that you think our audience of nearly 6 million subscribers should know about tomorrow, or anything else with your travels over the past few weeks since Congress was in recess?
I just hope tomorrow is about the victims, that we all as a country can stand with the victims. Their stories have been ignored, not just during the Trump years. Their stories have been ignored for the past 15 years. This is going to be their moment. Remember, it's about standing with the victims. It's about protecting America's kids. It's about restoring trust. And if your 6 million subscribers can tune in, and if they can share that, and if they can all hashtag release the files, just put the call of this release the files. It's not just that we will do right by these victims, is that maybe we can find some common ground in this country. That when it comes to rich men, powerful men, assaulting young girls, that's where we draw the line as a nation, regardless of political ideology. That's where we say those men need to be held accountable. That doesn't happen in the United States of America. Release the Epstein files, have accountability, restore trust. We need a movement for that tomorrow. And your subscribers across the country can help us do that.
Congressmember Ro Khanna, we look forward to seeing this bombshell press conference tomorrow that you and Massie are leading. And I got to give a shout out to the House Oversight Democrats as well in general. With Congressmember Garcia, the whole team. It's such a difference that we've seen in a short period of time already with just being aggressive, eye on the target of transparency. So thank you so much.
He's doing a phenomenal job, as is Ayanna Pressley there. I mean, both doing incredible work.
Well, and you are too. So thank you to all of you. Everybody hit subscribe. Let's get to 6 million subscribers. And thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow during the press conference.
The truth is more important than ever. Check out our new Truth Over Lies collection at store.meidastouch.com. All 100% USA union made.